Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Jerry Sansing with another edition of South Texas News and Reviews. It is Sunday, March the 18th, 2018. There are the air times, 9 o'clock Tuesday p.m. and Wednesday at 8 o'clock. That's on Public Access Channel 10 on, let's see, I guess that's Grande and Spectrum, and I think AT&T is in there. Anyway, if you have any comments for me, I wish you to email me at gsansing@gmail.com. This is also available on YouTube and some of the past shows. If you just go into YouTube and put in Gerald Sansing, then the shows will crop up. Both this one and the What's Going On in Corpus Christi, which is Taxpayers Association. Anyway, I will be right back. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I've got Pinocchio back up here. You know, his nose kept growing the more he lied, and there's Jiminy Cricket in that famous cartoon movie and so forth, shaking his finger at Pinocchio and telling him to quit it. I'm going to join with Jiminy Cricket, and I'm pointing my finger at the local politicians and elected officials and administrators and so forth around town to quit stretching the truth, lying to us, and dancing around a whole bunch of things. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the lights on, get this thing started. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the lights are on, the camera is rolling. I'm going to go take my seat and we'll discuss a few things of importance to me and I hope to you here in Corpus Christi, Texas. I'd like to go ahead and indicate that these roses are dedicated to Miss Connie, Miss Lynn, and Miss April 23. Lovely women. Okay, now one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start by saying that I am more than casually upset with Del Mar College, the city of Corpus Christi, not so much with the county commissioners, although I don't know what we're going to do with one of our city council people now on there and other people vying for this, that, and the other. There seems to be a scramble to get on that for whatever reason. I wish they'd take the point of view that they're trying to help the citizens instead of helping their buddies. Okay? And that happens at Del Mar College. We've got you know, a president of the Board of Regents who's connected with all the architects, engineers, and stuff, and so forth with that 95-acre swampland boondoggle Southside campus. And then they can't seem to get along. They've all got a, not all of them, but you know, Mr. Guy Watts is a free American, and he does have a right to freedom of speech and so forth and so on. And then the city is just a disaster down there these days. We can't get chug holes filled or whatever. So what I'm going to do is film about 30 minutes, and then I'm going to take a road trip. I drive down Ocean to and from the house out by A&M Corpus Christi, the Island University, and I drive around Louisiana Street. It's got some chug holes from hell over there. Ocean Drive's crumbling. We've got some side streets over here that are a total abomination. Our taxes keep going up and our fees and stuff keep going up, and we get nothing done with this city because we're too busy playing politics and trying to get all this other garbage taken care of to make money for our buddies. And I'm just trying to tell the truth with this. Now, one thing that has bugged me lately, and I'm writing a letter to some people to complain profusely, and that is the utility bills around here. Okay, so I'm just going to go over mine, and if you'd like to follow suit. Okay, now the Public Utilities Committee for the let's see if I can find the thing here. It's the Public Utility Commission of Texas. They're the ones that are on the power bill of mine here that state that if I have a problem or want to file a complaint, I can do it through there. And it gives the post office box. So I looked them up. So I've got the customer service directory, the commissioners, like Deanne T. Walker as a chairman, Commissioner Marty Marquez, and I guess Brandy, I guess her name is Brandy Marty or Marquez. And then I've got Arthur C. DeAndrea. And then executive director is Brian H. Lloyd. Executive director is Pam Whittington. So I just go down and I've got the directory for the agency council and all the rest of this. Okay. Now you can go online and do that. Just put in the the Public Utility Commission of Texas, and then they'll give you all the internal auditors and how to file a complaint. So I did file or print out the method by which I'm going to voice my opinion about the utilities department here in Corpus Christi, Texas, robbing me of my money. Okay? So here's the format: the account holder's name, service address, mailing address, contact number, complaint information, and so forth and so on. So I'm going to send a letter up there complaining about the following. Okay? Now, I have looked over my past few bills, okay, and since we do not have any place that you can take care of these bills by phone or email anymore, you know, just a direct payment from my accounts, my private accounts, then you're kind of stuck. But I've noticed over the past 8 or 9 months that my utility bill is always just about, okay, $170.82. Okay. Now, when I take a look at this, my water consumption is right around from $12.33 to $12.70. That's my water usage. Okay. I live alone. My girls are gone. My wife is deceased. And I live here alone. I do the dishes once in a while, dishwasher. I had to run the washing machine for a while, and I do take a shower or two a day. Okay, but my total water bill is $12.70, and I think it was a little less than that. So I'm not sure they're reading the damn meter out here. Okay, now then, what they charge me for the water total wastewater bill, okay, is, let's see, total wastewater, oh, it's dropped. I can't believe that. It's down to $32.60. Well, there for a while, I don't know how much, okay, you know, these bills don't make a bit of damn sense, but for a while there I was paying $127 for wastewater, okay. Now, I've complained, so I guess here in my February-March bill, it's dropped down to a reasonable rate, I guess, $32.60. I still can't see why that I don't have sprinklers outside, I don't have swimming pools, and I don't, you know, water the plants very often. We've had a lot of rain lately. That it would be that kind of money. Okay? So I'm not real sure what in the world's going on here, but you know, the total amounts there are identical for both the February bill and the March bill. But at least I guess the good news is it's not up to $170 some odd dollars still. Okay? And I think I did pay that one, folks. It's hard to tell. I don't have time doing triple overloads at Del Mar College, folks, to be running downtown and standing in line at the water department. And then when I asked about this charges for wastewater, and I raised hell on the air about it, I guess somebody's paying attention down there, and I'm just still going to go to the utilities department, the Public Utilities Commission of Texas, and raise hell. There's no sense in that, okay? And I want my money back for my past bills where I had $12.13 and $127 for the wastewater. Okay? I'm getting old and cranky in my old age, I guess. Okay? Now, then another bone of contention I've got to pick with the city is I asked for some information from them. Now, my vice president of the Taxpayers Association. I'm the president. Okay, asked for information about the amount of money that was being spent on outside attorneys, since we have 26 attorneys here at City working down there. And there was one company, let's see, it was the Coates Rose PC company, and they sent a bill in, and it was from 12/16 to April 17th to 17, and the total bill was $550,527.37. And I said, wow, why are we hiring outside firms for this? Don't we have firms in Corpus Christi, Texas? Now, another one I'm going to ask for is Sledge Law and Public Strategies Company. Okay, $34,562. And then we've got another one over here, and this one is Lloyd Goslick Rochelle Company, and this one's $513,126.40. Now, why in the world are we paying that kind of money to outside attorneys outside of town? Okay, so here's what I did, and here's the response. This is how responsive the city is to my rights under the Texas Public Information Act. Okay, so I sent and hand-delivered on December the 19th, 2017, a request, a Public Information Act request, for the following. Okay, I said, through my rights under the Texas Public Information Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 552, I am hereby requesting that a time and location be arranged for my examination of copies of any and all billings, receipts, payments, and reports submitted to the city of Corpus Christi, Texas by vendor Coates Rose PC Company between the 1st of, let's see, that would be June 1st, 2016 to the date of this letter, which was December 18th, 2017. If I can be of assistance in answering any questions that you may have, please contact me immediately at gsansing@gmail.com. That's the Gmail address I gave you, my personal email address that I gave you. Thank you for your time and kind consideration in this matter. And I signed it. Okay. Now, I got absolutely no response. Okay. Until I got a little bit perturbed. They have a time limit on getting that, particularly since they should just be able to open the books and let me see that. And in the case, I'll tell you, we decided that he would go ahead. This one attorney down there would go ahead and provide me with that online, and then send me a bill for that. Okay. Now, I went down to the office there to City Hall on January the 19th of 2018. That's 1 month later to the day. Okay. Now, I took a copy of this receipted letter that I had. It says received December 19th, 2017, City Secretary's office. I walked in there and said, here, would you please stamp this copy, and here's your original. Okay. Now, I had two originals actually. Now, then what happened was I went down, and Gabriel A. Rodriguez, Assistant City Attorney, City of Corpus Christi Legal Department, okay, came out, and he said, let me find out what's going on, and took my receipted letter. Okay. Then he said, obviously you turned it in on December 19th to the City Secretary's office because you don't make these date stamps up. I said, no, I don't, but what's going on? Oh, well, I apologize. We called down to Rebecca L. Huerta, the City Secretary's office, where they stamped you in, and they said they can't find the copy of that request. They lost it. Okay, but he was going to find out. So he said, and he read my mind. I said, okay, I want you to date stamp it in to the City of Corpus Christi Legal Department right now. And he did. Okay? So I have one here, date stamped on January 19th, 2018 by the City of Corpus Christi Legal Department. Okay. Now, I didn't hear anything back. I did get on the 2nd of February, I did get a email back from Mr. Rodriguez, Attorney Rodriguez, and it says, "Dear Mr. Sansing, this email is in response to your request for information pursuant to Texas Public Information Act received by the city on January 19th. Well, it was actually December the 19th of 2017. The responsive documents are available for inspection at our office located 5th floor City Hall. Please let me know a good time." So I called the man, and he said, actually what we have is I'm trying to redact these or do something with it, record it, figure out how to bill it or whatever. And I haven't heard a word from him since. Okay? Now, I did call down there to find out what was going on the 26th, and he still indicates that they're working on it. Okay? So that's 3 months later. And here it is, March the 18th. So tomorrow will be how many months? Let's see, we've got December, January, February, March, 4 months now. And I have no response to that. So my alternative, folks, is to write the complaint department of the Texas Attorney General's office. They're about as useful as, zero down there, since they like to protect the government entities and stick it in your ear as a taxpayer. I mean, you're paying their salaries. Why can't they get this stuff done? Then we've got a whole bunch of stuff that has come out with the Taxpayers Association, and I'll just go through some of this stuff. Now, we have a city attorney that I think is totally and completely worthless. He likes to pretend that everybody's a mushroom, if you know what I mean. They keep you in the dark and feed you nothing but equine excrement. Okay, that's what a mushroom is. That's how you grow them, folks. I do have the background to know how to grow a mushroom with a PhD, master's degree in microbiology, with an expertise in different types of, it's the field of mycology, along with bacteriology, virology, and so forth and so on. And then I know how these things grow because I do have a PhD, in addition, and a master's degree with the second major, which is biochemistry. So for all practical purposes, I am a biochemist with a slant in microbial biochemistry. I know what makes, bacterium grow. I know how fungi grow. Those are your molds. I know how they produce some of the worst carcinogens, which are cancer-causing chemicals in the world that can get into your food supply very easily. And I have gotten a great experience with running toxicology studies on antibiotics as well as microbial toxins. So I think I've got some clue as to what's going on. Okay? But anyway, I've got this city attorney that thinks he is God Almighty, and he can treat us all like a bunch of mushrooms. Okay? And he won't do diddly for you. Now, in the last Corpus Christi Taxpayers Association, our board meeting, okay, we discussed several things, okay? So what we've got is we have a cost for outside attorney's fees, okay? We've discussed that. I can't get that out of the city. I've also got the same thing that I'm going for Del Mar College, and they're just as bad on getting Public Information Act out, okay? They say they've got things there, and, I need to reschedule one where they said they did have certain information, part of it anyway, okay? And then we've got the City Americans with Disabilities Act non-compliance, okay? Particularly, we've got the Tarleton and Ayers Street, which I've been harping on. We've got the one over here on, I think it's Everhart and Holly, that can very easily be taken care of. If you look along some of the streets, there are no sidewalks that are passable, okay? And this place is an absolute disaster. And then we've had some at one time City Hall problems with ADA compliance. Okay? So I don't know what's going on. So I've got a bone to pick with the city attorney on the Public Information Act request delays and delays and delays, delay in ADA compliance. And then if you go back to the Department of Justice, ladies and gentlemen, where you've got the ADA under that, the Americans with Disability Act, I wrote them and said that the city of Corpus Christi says that they don't have to comply to ADA rules and regulations. ADA said, well, we're sorry, we can't follow up on your complaint because we're too busy. We've got thousands of complaints. Well, you know, you don't have any problems taking my money through my tax system and so forth and so on, and paying these high-priced bureaucrats. The Department of Justice apparently is in a shambles. We've got the VA, which is in shambles, and then the VA said they couldn't look in it. It didn't fall under their purview with disabled veterans not being able to get around town. So, you know, I mean, what do, folks? You just have to drop back 20 and punt. And then I've got it in for Del Mar College and this administrative bloat that they have going on over there. And, you know, I'm just fed up with it. You know, we've got a president of Del Mar College and its public information and with his perks and so forth over there. He's up to $294,749 a year. Okay? And then usually they'll give him a $15,000 performance bonus, so you're looking at about just under $310,000 per year, and he's not on campus half the time. He's out, you know, I guess high rolling with his buddies and so forth and so on, and you know, trying to convince me that I need to pay $500 million for a campus that we don't need, when the enrollment over there with my own numbers and it's CPA certified and so forth and so on, the enrollment at Del Mar College has been flatlined since 1992. Okay? Now they preach that we're bursting at the seams, but if you even look at 2017, it's flatlined since 1992. They said that we were going to grow by leaps and bounds, which did not happen, and they blame that on the enrollment not growing. It actually decreased because of the hurricane. I don't know how they explain this spring semester. You know, we didn't have another disaster. But the school's not growing, folks. And then to add into that, we used to have full-time students in 1992. There weren't any of these dual credit students that don't even go to campus. Okay? Pardon me. So what can you say? Actually, as far as I'm concerned, the enrollment's down since 1992. But now we're committed to $500 million to put out a campus out there on 95 acres of swampland at Rod Field and Yorktown Road. And who's gonna do the building? It's all the people that contributed to that campaign, which was Del Mar Works. I can prove that. I've got all the contributions and the contributors and how much and so forth and so on. And a large variety of those people that did that, plus supported the bond for $157 million over here. And I think that was back in 2014, to build a $45 million building, classroom that we really don't need on East Campus, and some facilities out on West. Then where do you go from there? I think you've had your leg pulled big time, folks. You know, they've tried to stretch it around from one side of Texas to the other one, okay, from El Paso to Houston. So you're getting your leg pulled by the administration and the Board of Regents members at Del Mar College. And I'm sure they're directed by all the high rollers around here that are making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month over there as architects and engineers and contractors and so forth and so on. So we're encumbered now with about $600,000 in bonds that may be closer to $7,000. I'd have to go back and take a look at it if we included, you know, some of the other bonds that have been floated. and the tuition is going up, the income is going down, and the enrollment's not up 5% either this past fall or this spring semester. So I'll be interested to see how we go and what kind of a disaster, maybe an earthquake in southern Borneo, can affect us in going into the fall of 2018. We'll see. Okay. So I don't know what to tell you, but when we've got salaries going on like this, and I don't know of any faculty member base salary is over $100,000. We've got a president that's making $300,000. And then we've got a gal with a master's degree in business, I think it is, a vice president making $180,000. And then we've got a bachelor's degree guy over here that's making, let's see, I have to look him up. Let's see. Well, now we've got a general counsel making $164,600. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Guy with a BBA degree making $144,434. And then we can't pay incoming faculty members for a 9-month contract any more than, and actually we pay less than a teacher for CCISD coming in with a bachelor's degree in college or in high school teaching. And then we're still millions of dollars in the hole right now. We're going broke. And then they go up with fees to pay for that mascot that we need, a little Viking in this little Tukey suit jumping around all over the place. Okay? And then we've got the Student Government Association favor raising the activity fees by $8 from $7 to $15 to pay for that clown to go around, because they hired somebody to put on that clown suit, and then they've hired a coach to take care of that. We don't have any athletic departments or athletic teams over there where we need a mascot like they do at the football games. But we've got a mascot to run around and jump around and recruit high school students. Now, my personal view of Del Mar College is, since I've been here, it was one of the top 10 probably in the country in several different disciplines, and nursing, music, and several others. Okay, and now we don't even rank, I don't think. And it just breaks my heart. And then we've got students coming in because CCISD can't seem to take care of their people. Oh, and by the way, I found out that another consultant that we've got there at Del Mar College is the former CCISD person, Scott Eliff, and he's buddies with our president of the Del Mar College Board of Regents, Mr. Trey McCampbell. That make you happy out there, taxpayers? Well, I'm going to go buzzing around town with the camera, and I'm going to film some chug holes and some sidewalks that are non-ADA compliant, and hope that we don't have a massive lawsuit with some veteran having to go out into the street to get down the sidewalk to do their business, or more importantly, I think, well, no more, it's all important. I see women pushing strollers down, and they have to either go out in the street with the stroller and get run over, or they have to go into a convenience store parking lot next to the gasoline pumps and so forth and so on, and run the risk of being blown up or gassed or whatever. It's real good to have kids breathing gasoline fumes. Like I say, I don't know anything about toxicology, so we'll just see. And then, we got people over here that are award-winning this, that, and the other. And, I don't consider that winning the Creighton Award at Del Mar College makes you a award-winning instructor in a certain discipline. Lord. Anyway, well, I'm going to go on a field trip. I don't know if I'll come back to the Roses or not. But so anyway, enjoy those out there, ladies and gentlemen. Those are in dedication to three extremely fine women. Like I say, Miss Connie, Miss Lynn, and Miss April, 23. So I'll see you at the end of the road, maybe when I go on my road trip. Meanwhile, y'all take care and be well. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out here at Del Mar College by my building, Garcia Science Building. I'm trying in this wind to hold this thing steady. You can see the weeds out here and the dry soil here. That's the reason the weeds grow so well. And then if I pan up, you can see that bush over there, and it's all overgrown, and I'll get back with you in a minute. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is an old tree that has blown over, and they can't get the roots out. They won't clean this mess up. And then all of these spots where the trees and stuff, the planters were there, you can see there's no grass at all here. And if you come over on this side, then I'll just run down here right quick, and then you can see what a mess that is. Okay, and the whole place is they won't water the trees. They're about semi-dead, and then you've got grass and weeds everywhere. Place looks like the Dickens, folks. So I'll be right back. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. Here's a bush. You can barely see the handrail in there. I'm sure that's ADA compliant. I'm gonna pick up the trash. It is the end of spring break, so I'm not surprised there's a little bit of trash blowing around. But that's crazy when you have to hide a handrail that somebody may need for that. There is one on this side, but that's crazy, folks. That's absolutely nuts. So what I'm going to do, and then if you take a look down here, you got weeds everywhere. And then I'm going to go down the sidewalk here where the handrail was, and we have this mess that's unwatered, untrimmed, and so forth and so on. Okay, and then we've got this unkept mess over here, and it's just always something. And I'm going to go out to the foyer back there and take a look at some stuff. Anyway, this is how we maintain things at Del Mar College, and now we're going to spend $500 million on 95 acres that we can't keep up. You taxpayers have been duped. Okay, this is our little courtyard out beside this, and you can see we've got some very large palms here, and you can see how rustic that looks. And then those bushes there have no attention paid to them whatsoever. And we're paying what, $15,000 a month or better for groundskeeping, which should be trimming these fronds out of this tree here. I know that a lot of times you can walk along these trees and the branches are hanging over, and they'll put your eyeballs out. And if I go over here, you can see how unkept this hedge is, and you can see how well they maintain the sidewalks and so forth and so on. And like I say, you're walking down here, and then you've got to contend with this crap all the time, hanging in there. That's on the sidewalk, folks. So what can I say? And then if you come on around, we've got hedges over here by our door. And I'll just scan it right quick, and you can see that that's really well trimmed up. It looks just real professional. Okay. And then, like I say, we've got palm fronds hanging all over the place, dead stuff. The place looks like hell, folks. And we're paying good money for this, unfortunately. So I'm just going to walk down here, and then you can see that there's no water expended here. We can't afford to water this stuff, so we've got nothing but weeds. I don't see any grass in there whatsoever. And then the trees. And, all I can say is it looks terrible. It's a little windy out here. I don't know if you can hear me. You can see the grass and what condition that's in. That's not really grass, but that's a bunch of weeds and dry dirt and so forth and so on. And then we've got another, I don't know if you can see it over there, unkept palm tree with fronds, dead fronds everywhere. That's a real spectacular view. It took me about 2 years to get them to go ahead and put dirt over here and try to get some grass growing over here. It used to just be a caliche pit. It's not a whole lot better than that now. They did spread it out a little bit. But this is what we have to contend with every day on this wonderful campus. And like I say, we're going to have 95 acres more to keep up with. They can't keep up with this one, which is East Campus or the West. So I don't know what to tell you. Okay, here's that palm tree a little bit closer. It's dirt out there, nothing but weeds and so forth and so on. The trees don't get any water. And then if I pan around here, we've got unwatered bushes. They finally cleaned this up a little bit from the last time I filmed. It's been about a year ago. Anyway, this is it, folks. This is what your tax money's going for. Dead plants and weeds and so forth and so on. Okay, this is typical of the planters that are around the concrete. And they've got nothing but dead plants and weeds normally. And then I'm going to turn around here. There's some more grass that needs to be cut. And then they finally took a stump out over here on these bushes. And, you know, they've got all hodgepodge of stuff. Half of it's dead. And it doesn't get much better if you go down the Kohl's building here. So I don't know what to tell you, except get on the phone, call your regents and say, hey, I've been after them for years and years to get rid of this garbage. And this is by a transformer, I guess that's what that is. And it's right next to the building here. And you can see we've got more plants that are just sitting there stunted because they don't have any water. But I have filmed this at least 5 or 6 times on this base of this thing and can't get anybody to clean it up. And then we got nothing but dry dirt over here. And then we've got a bunch of split leaves here that are dying out. And they lack of water and lack of attention. And it's just a mess. And then if you look down at the ground, all it is a weed cover. Okay. Fantastic yard work. That's got to be worth, what, $15,000 a month? I'm in the wrong business. Okay, this is some more really well-kept stuff here. You can see all the weeds growing up in those split leaves and so forth and so on. And trash is in there. And you got grass growing right up next to it. And it's real thick. That needs to be thinned out a bit. A whole bunch of dead branches and stuff in here. So, and you know, the beat goes on. And then we try to keep things looking good. But you can also see the mess we've got in here. So it's really very poor. And then if you come out here, and this is the biology department, you've got a lot of dead plants out here that are not taken care of. And we try as faculty members, but you know, I didn't hire on as a custodian, even though I'll show you a picture of that in a little bit. And I'll be right back. Okay, we've got one of our professors here that gardens for her biology class, and you can see that they're in the middle of this spring planting right now. We just got back from the spring break, so she's going to be planting more stuff in here. She's got some tomatoes, it looks like, growing in there, and a couple of other items. Dill weed looks good down there at the end. But if you look around here, the groundskeepers, or the groundkeeping company, is supposed to be taking care of this, but the grass has not been cut. And you can see stuff piled up over there against that wall, dead branches and so forth. And it's just a mess, folks. There's no excuse for this, none whatsoever. And I'll be right back. Okay, this is our $250,000 greenhouse. See how big and large that is? I hate to think of what the square footage cost was on this thing. You know, people like to even have a $250,000 house and it would look better than this. But this is on quote-unquote grant money, and I don't know if the grants run out, but there is absolutely no activity out here. And this has been a long time. There haven't been anything grown in here, and I don't see, oh, no, they did take the Johnson grass out, okay? But this is it. This is your tax money in full bloom here, folks. We just couldn't live without this thing, and it was going to be used extensively. And I haven't seen anything growing in here but the Johnson grass over there in the corner that I just showed you for a long number, many months. It's almost into years now. And then you can hear this blooming fan going. That thing's still rattling. I'm just waiting for it to burn out and short circuit everything. But anyway, this is what you get when you don't pay attention. then I'll show it to you one more time. This was that nice patch of dill they've got going. And students have to come in out here and wade through this tall grass and put up with this mess. It should be hauled off. This is the responsibility of our groundskeeping company. Okay? So I would think that somebody cleaned some of this stuff up, but you know, who am I to say? I don't know anything about anything. I just pay for it. Okay folks, this fan's been doing this, sounding like that for many, many months. It is going full tilt. Now, if we don't have anything in that greenhouse to grow in and so forth, then why do we need to spend all the electricity for this one? And there's another one down there that isn't quite as noisy as this one, okay? But this is what you call insanity, is what I call it, okay? So I think if I was an administrator or department chair or dean or something, vice president, I'd be all over this, folks. This is a waste of time, money, and effort, and I'm paying for it as a taxpayer. And the Taxpayers Association, of which I am president, is not pleased at all with this type of garbage going on. Be right back. Okay, on the other side of this building we have this planter that used to have some real nice looking plants in it, and so forth and so on. Now you can see it's nothing but a dried up pit, and the grass is not cut, nor is it any grass. It's mostly weeds out there, folks. And then if I come back around my building, and you can see that there's nothing here. There used to be beautiful Esperanza over there, and they've killed it all out. There's a little bit that's still growing over there towards the doorway. We used to have palm trees and other plants in this, and they've allowed those to die off. And then the real crime is down here on the end, where we've got nothing but a weed patch here. But I'm going to zoom in over here where we used to have luscious ginger root plants, and you can see now all we've got are dead stubs. So there's no watering done, there's no maintenance done, and so forth and so on to keep this place looking at least halfway decent. Oops, I guess I hit the wrong button there. Okay, to see all that stuff was living a year ago. Now it's zero. Okay, so just wanted to share that with you and let you see how well maintained this campus is. Be right back. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sitting here at the corner of Kosar and Ayers Street. This is an entrance into the Del Mar College parking lot, and if you don't think that'll ruin your tires in a heartbeat, and this thing's been like that forever. And you can see that we've got people coming in right here, and then here's the other lane. So, you know, welcome to Del Mar. This is what we get for our tax money. And I guess I can be critical as a professor over here. I've been here close to 30 years since I retired from industry. So anyway, this is what we fight every single day. And then they do have this new building going up down here. That's only $45 million of your money. And, you know, so we're going to build this massive amount of classroom and office space down here, since we're bursting at the seams with students. But we're still going to need to spend about $500 million on the campus to house 20,000 students on West, since we can't top 12,000 total, with including non-participant people coming for dual credit. So you figure it out. You know, I'm not much of a mathematician. I only took through differential equations in graduate school. So, you know, what can I do? Talk to you in a minute. Okay, this is one of the hedges out by a parking lot. You can see how well trimmed these things get in the course of a day. We got trees growing up through them, all kinds of good stuff. Like I say, it's only 15 grand a month for this mess. Anyway, I'm going to go show you some holes in the parking lot and maybe some more untrimmed hedges. And we're just the first day after spring break, so I don't know why they couldn't come over here during spring break, not have the mowers ringing in your ears during the daytime when you're trying to do a class. Anyway, well, welcome to Del Mar. We've got concrete parking lot and so forth, and these craters stay here. You know, that's real fun and real good on your front end to go driving across these things all the time. And, you know, I know this has been here for at least a year, and I don't know if anybody ever drives around and looks at the condition of this place or not. I seriously doubt it. You can see how much fun that is on your tires, and you know, since nobody's squawking about it very much, I guess nobody really gives a damn over here. So I wish that the administration and the director of physical facilities and all would go take care of their business. Anyway, you know, maybe one day. Another classic example of the parking lot. It's in such good shape. I'm going to span out a little bit. So I don't know what they can blame that on. They blame most stuff on Hurricane Harvey over here, but I don't know who you can blame that on, because that was there a lot longer ago than Harvey came through. Anyway, I'm going to continue on down these wonderful parking lots and show you some more chug holes. And this is what beats the front end of mine up, plus I have to pay for all this garbage as a taxpayer. Then we can also see this beautiful trimmed up hedges here on both sides of this entryway here. Okay, that looks so nice. And like I say, I'm glad I pay taxes for all this stuff. And you know, I've got to look at it every weekday when I come over here, and a lot of times I have to work on Saturdays and Sundays to get the labs prepped and so forth and so on. So I got to look at this garbage all the time, and it just makes me want to sit down and cry at times. Okay, so just like I say, call your regent, start raising hell. And we've got these messes everywhere. This is where trees used to be. They, you know, no water, no care, and so forth. So they just die and fall down, and then they just leave this stuff here with weeds in it and so forth. There's several of these down this way. So just wanted to let you know what you're paying your taxes for, ladies and gentlemen, or what you're not getting for your tax money. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, I'm recording now. This is another one that you know, we've got sitting around here. It's just wonderful. Another patch of weeds where a tree should have been. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off again. I don't know how this is going to look on the air, but we'll proof it and see what happens. Anyway, be back with you in a little bit. Here you go, more untrimmed hedge work here along this entire entryway here. So anyway, don't know what to say. I don't know what to say, except I just get all choked up. It's amazing. It's totally amazing. There we go. Another tree gone, dead. We've got some good weeds in this one for you. And I love it. See, those at least got good flowers on them. Those are wild weeds of some type. I guess I could go in biology department over here and find out what those are called. I just call them ugly. Anyway, I'll be back with you shortly. Yeah, and here we are again. We got some just wonderful stuff here to take a look at. So I don't know what to tell you folks, except this place is a mess. And we're going to have 95 acres that we're going to need to take care of one day. We can't take care of this one. So anyway, I'll let you know what's happening. And we'll go film a little bit more. And maybe, I don't know if I'll get to streets today or not, but that's okay. I'm trying. Here's another little spot that's been here for at least a year and a half in the parking lot. I try to avoid that one unless I've got traffic coming at me and can't avoid it. So, you know, one of these days maybe I can get a car and keep the front end in it and the tires without big gashes in them and so forth, because we can't take care of business. So, I don't know. And then we can't get the drainage facilities uncovered. I'm going to go show you a picture of that here in just about 2 seconds. You can see the tall grass here and so forth and so on. And then it's got a nice stormwater drain right there that's all plugged up with leaves and limbs and so forth and so on. You know, very typical what's going on around here. And then this entire hedgerow over here to my right hasn't been trimmed in a long time. So I'm just going to keep picking, folks. Maybe things will happen. So I'll be back in just a few minutes. There you go. This is out in the middle of the parking lot, unwatered. You can see what happens if you don't feed them water. And, you know, sprinkle them down a little bit. You got this mostly dead tree. It doesn't stand a chance. I know that stuff isn't going to bud out. And then if you look at the base, that thing's been unattended to for a long time. But like I say, it's just wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And while I'm here, I'll just state that this is only one building and one parking lot. Okay? We've got a whole east campus, and I haven't been out to west. I don't have the heart to go out there and see what condition that place is in. But anyway, that's what you get when you get a private contractor to take over for the full-time yard keepers that we had, groundskeepers. So enjoy, taxpayers. Here you go, city of Corpus Christi, Texas. This is typical. This is a big chug hole. You can see they put a little bit of black stuff in there about a year ago. But anyway, this is very typical of what we have to put up with as taxpayers in Corpus Christi, Texas. And, you know, I'm getting tired of knocking my front end out of my car all the time and, you know, doing damage to tires and everything else under the sun. So I'm just going to show you taxpayers this. I'm just, maybe 100 feet, 200 feet from Swantner on Louisiana Street. And you have to dodge this. So if you're in this lane and somebody's on your left and you want to avoid knocking the front end of your car out and you swerve, then, you know, this is an accident ready to happen. So just typical. I just want to show you this, and you know, this crap is all over town. You can see how that person had to dodge it. Let's see what this person does. Yep. See, they're all dodging this thing. It's incredible. Okay, see, they're out in the other lane there. Okay, so I'll turn the timer off and continue here, but this is the kind of crap we have to put up with this city. There we go. We got the timer off. Sorry for that, but just wanted you to see it. And there's several more up headed for Ocean Drive here on Louisiana Street. And then I'm going to take a little trip down Ocean Drive and show you that washboard we got out there. And you know, I don't know when we're going to be able to solve these problems until you people crawl all over this, your elected officials around here, and get the city off their butts. And I guess it jolted it. I didn't think a jolt would turn this thing off, but maybe so. I'm going to keep trying. Lost about half a mile there. So, just see what happens. You can see how wonderful this is. It's smooth. Just beats the car to death. Rattle, rattle, rattle. So, I'm going to stay in behind the slower traffic. And then we've got the fire department coming, or somebody, so I'm going to slow down and get ready to pull over if I have to. A lot of people won't do that. Okay, everybody was pretty good about that one. So we'll see what happens here as we bump along a little bit further. Oh, boom, there you go. They can't smooth out the manhole covers along here. I'm just going to stay in this lane because this is truly the worst one, even though I'm only doing 30 miles an hour behind the slow pokes up here. And this is Robert Drive. We'll see if anybody's going to pull off there, or whether they're going to, this group is going to continue at sub speeds there. It'll give you a little bit more time to watch. Boom, there we go. Isn't this wonderful? I mean, this is the premier road in Corpus Christi, Texas, and you get bounced around. There we go. There's a nice big chunk out. And what they do around here is they'll put the coal patch in there. They sweep all the stuff that's come out into the bottom of the hole so it won't stick, and then they put the black stuff on top of it, stomp it down with their boots maybe, and then we'll see what happens from there. And I don't know why these people are so blasted slow, but maybe somebody's about ready to pull off here. Looks like maybe we'll get a break. There we go. Whoever's in that white car, that's a speed demon. We'll see if these others will speed up, and I'll just wait for the traffic light. There we go. And we'll get going here. So I hope the city council people are watching this mess, and the engineers and the, you know, maintenance department and the rest of this stuff. This is miserable, folks. You can see where the stuff's coming apart in the center, where they didn't seam it well. And what amazes me is when they get these contractors in here to do this, I guess there's no guarantee, you know, that things are going to hold together. That way you can pay for it again. And this is where it gets real interesting along this stretch. Yep. You know, it doesn't even look good. It's got these big chug holes in it, grooves and stuff where they didn't layer the stuff together. And you can see here you got all kinds of mess going along here. And of course, with this slow traffic, I've got a tailgater here that's trying to rub the chrome off the back of my car. There we go. Alright, and here we go. We can bounce along some more. Boom. It's just about as bad going the other way. So I'm going to go down to the end of this next block, see how many more chug holes and bumps and whatever we can generate here. There you go. That's a nice one. And that's not even half of it, folks. I'm only doing 40 miles an hour. So anyway, I'm going to turn the camera off here. And okay, ladies and gentlemen, after a road trip and a trip to Del Mar College and looking at big chug holes and so forth, which is just, you know, that's a drop in the bucket compared to what we have with poor service around here in Corpus Christi, Texas. I'm pretty well disgusted with our elected officials and the way they can spend my money, up my taxes, and so forth and so on, and give me less than what I had when I moved to Corpus Christi. It frightens me almost 30 years ago, after I had retired from the industrial research business. Now, I've enjoyed Corpus Christi, Texas. I love this place. I've got salt water in my veins, and from both sides of my family. And you know, I really do like this town an awful lot, but the town doesn't like us residents back and taxpayers. So that's the reason I maintain my position as the president of the Corpus Christi Taxpayers Association. Now, I don't know how much time I've got left here. I've got a whole bunch of short pictures from, you know, from railings that are stuck in out of ADA compliance in bushes at Del Mar. Just nothing but stubs and dead grass and a whole bunch of weeds that are dying off because even they can't get any water. It's just, I guess, fortunate for just to make it green and grow these weeds around here that we've had a lot of rain this year. But I'm pretty well disgusted. Now, I'm going to end this probably on a note that you don't want to hear about, but I'm going to throw it out there anyway. Now, I have friends that have kids in various schools around Corpus Christi, Texas, and some of them have been bullied unmercifully, okay, because either of their race, creed, gender, so forth and so on, physical stature, and so forth. Now, I ran into a bully when I was in the 9th grade, and I was in Richmond, Virginia area. Dad was stationed there, and we joined it wasn't a country club, that was real expensive for those, but it was a swim club with a real nice swimming pool. And I remember vividly, I had this young guy who was had just graduated from high school. He was headed for the U.S. Military Academy there at West Point. And I was bobbing along, minding my own business in the pool, and he just decided that since I was smaller than he was, and I was having a good time, that he'd come over and punch me in the ribs a few times and hold my head underwater for 30 seconds at a time. So I just said, you know, that's not in my nature, folks. I will not be bullied. I don't care how beat up I'm going to be at the end of the run. So I bloodied him up pretty damn good. Okay? Now, he beat the stuffings out of me. I came out on the short end of the stick, but he never even came into the swimming pool again after I was bobbing around because I had given him his due rewards with the broken nose and cut lip and several other things. So I'll just be damned if I'm going to be bullied. I don't care how big somebody is. Now, in the February 14th edition of the Caller-Times, that was a Wednesday, almost a week ago, then it says parents, CCISD improperly addressing bullying. And then it says families start Facebook group to vent protest. And then it shows some people outside of the South Park Middle School and their students and I guess parents and so forth. And they went out there with signs and started signing up people that were, you know, pretty perturbed about their kids being bullied over there by either upperclassmen or whatever. And they said that they garnered over 500 members into this group. So I want to congratulate you people, okay? And this was they had another picture of Mr. John Molina, whose daughter attended South Park Middle School, began protesting outside the campus twice a day on February 5th. So my hat's off to you, Mr. Medina. Now, I'm going to lead in with that and say that some of the biggest bullies I've met lately are not physical with me, but the administration and the general counsel at Del Mar College are nothing but bullies. I'm just going to go ahead and put it out on the streets. And we paid for that, folks. They tried to bully a dear friend of mine, and the jury came back in a jury trial and said that it was $500,000 plus that he was able to get. Now, the bully over there, general counsel, and along with the bullies on the Board of Regents, there's several of them, and several of the administrators, starting with the president on down. Then you know, they tried to bully him and lost over $500 million according to the jury verdict. So I just want to interject that and say, you know, I just want to put an end to it. And I hear all the time that the administrators over there and directors of this, that, and the other are bullying the poor workers over there. Several of which have been, you know, had their permanent full-time jobs cut out from under them, and we hire all these contractors now, and that's the reason I showed you the groundskeeper's contract over there, which is abysmal. So anyway, I encourage you to go on to my DMC, or the web DMC is even better on your thing. Look up the contact information for the Board of Regents at Del Mar College. That is WebDMC, and that'll give you that. You can get into that and learn who the Board of Regents members are. There are 3 of them that need to be replaced in November, so I've got my signs ready to go for that. But anyway, like I say, I don't know when I'm going to run out of time here, but I've got my amaryllis. I've got a whole back patio full of these. This is the one that's bloomed first. It's a beautiful pink and white, and I've got all variations of colors. That's called an amaryllis. And it's a bulb. You plant it, and then this time in the springtime, they'll go ahead and throw these big long shoots up and have absolutely gorgeous blooms. So I want to dedicate that again. I think I had the roses in the beginning of the show, but I'd sure like to go ahead and dedicate this to Miss Connie, my mother, Miss Lynn, my deceased wife, and a dear friend of mine these days is April 23. So I'm just going to let this thing run out for a while, and I don't know when it's going to be cut off, but I'm just going to make sure that, you know, you can make some sense out of the show. I'm trying. And if you got any comments, it's gsansing@gmail.com. Good evening.